Hi, my name's Michelle. I'm with the Youngcare housing team and I'm going to talk to you today about what makes great SDA, looking at the opportunities for SDA and potential threats to SDA. So what makes great SDA based on our experience and feedback from the people living in our housing is right back down to the design and the customisations in the built environment. Storage is key. People usually have large pieces of equipment that need stored or multiple pieces of equipment that need stored. They have consumables, boxes of continence aids, for example. So storage is a really important factor. Car parking, so whether the person owns their own vehicle or required spaces for the staff that are providing supports to park. In our shared housing, we do have private spaces, so people can break away from the rest of the household and have time with their family separately. Assistive technology is also really important, and this is what's built into the environment. So high levels of automation and environmental control make those environments more homely and give the people more independence in those spaces. Another key factor is location. Location, including being close to shops and amenities such as public transport and medical services is a key factor. We also look really closely at the participant focus, so that ongoing connection with us as the SDA provider, tenant surveys, for example, other engagement throughout the year. Tenant matching is another key area. So we want long-term sustainable tenancies in our housing. So we need to consider the person, their family, other key people in their lives, where they're moving from. So have they always lived with their family, or are they moving from another institutional type setting like an aged care facility? Do they smoke? Do they have a vehicle? Do they own pets? And then once we're putting those people into their houses and they've tenanted, we also look at the property management style. So is it in-house or is it external through a organisation like a real estate agency? We also do the tenant engagement and focus on people's rights and responsibilities and promote choice and control in those environments. With regards to the supported independent living provider, so the SIL provider, there is matching around that. So tenant choice is the main focus. And also to looking at the type of housing and the size of the organisation in regards to the supports provided in the homes. And then also too, a key thing is separation of bed and care. So as an SDA provider, we do not provide supports into those houses. So all supports are separated, and we really encourage people to be able to access separate allied health services, community engagement activities and providers, and then separately again their support provider. Looking at the threats to SDA, we have some of the things around time taken to tenant the homes and how long a vacancy within a home is sustained. This delays to the tenanting can be related to the person's needing leaving home, for example, and needing some time to transition to a new living arrangement. Could be related to the actual NDIS's funding approvals and payments. The tenancy matching process can take time, so finding the ideal match to encourage those long-term sustainable tenancies. And then also to the supported independent living provider has processes around the participants' funding, matching the supports within the household. Communication with the tenant and the stakeholders can also cause delays to tenancy if there's difficulty getting in contact with support coordinators or other people involved in the person's lives. The next threat is related to build costs, supply of materials and project timeframes. So that's just reflecting the building industry and the issues associated with that. We also have recently had the NDIS review with recommendations. Some of those key recommendations that potentially could impact on SDA provision are positive in relation to the release of data associated with demand for SDA. There's also another recommendation that talked to removing the improved livability category. So a lot of houses in the pipeline may be being built to that design category. So it's be interesting to see how that's implemented in the review. And also to another one that stood out was the regulation to ensure the dwellings are managed in accordance with the needs of the participant, and that separation of bed and care. So separation of SDA and the support provider. Another area of potential threat to SDA is the outcomes of the Royal Commission into Disabilities. The recommendations are primarily around shared accommodation. So it talks to no enforced shared accommodation, and that people with a disability should be able to choose who they live with, which are two really key things that Youngcare tries to uphold within our housing approach. Thank you for listening to the presentation. Feel free to contact Youngcare if you have any questions.